It is not the groove that makes a groove funky. You make the groove funky. Why am I saying all this? That's because we're talking about 3 funk grooves, woo! No, but the real reason I bring that up is because you can kind of make any groove you like funky. It's about how you play it. So, what little technical things are you going to need before we start playing these grooves and making them funky? They're not funk grooves, they're grooves you make funky. I'd say there's 2 big ingredients on this one. Much like with rock, there was 3 little hacks I gave you to make things sound rocky. There's probably 2 pieces of advice I'd give you for funk. First of all, with funk, dynamics is a bit more at play. Unlike rock, where it's just 100% almost all the time, we want to make sure that we're bringing out the backbeat, our 2 and 4. 2, 3, 4. So the way we're going to be aware of that, and it will come up a lot in these 3 grooves, you're going to be using ghost notes a lot. Ghost notes, if you don't know, are just really, really quiet notes on any part of the drum kit, but in most cases, the snare drum. Secondly, vibe, or more musically, feel. And that is entirely up to your musical ear. You can also play a lot to famous songs and get a feel and see where people are placing their snare drum, where they're playing their bass drum, and do your best to try and copy them. But the best thing you can do is just sit with your own groove, one that you don't have to think about too hard, but to make it feel good. Allow me to explain in groove 1, 3, 4. You might be looking at this and go, that's dead easy, and that's fine. First of all, let me give you the rundown on what's happening, and then we can get technical. 8th note groove, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Snare drum on 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Bass drums on 1, the and of 2 and the and of 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And the finishing touch, the singular ghost note on the E of 3. Stick it all together, we get this. 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 and. Practice beat 3 by itself just to get the coordination down. If you need to, remember to count out loud. Now when it comes to feel, I'm making an artistic choice here to play swung 16th feel. I could play this straight and it would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4. Da, 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 da. All straight, but we're going to be pushing the E's and the R's forward just a smidge. Don't worry about it if that makes no sense at all. It's more, again, you're feeling it. So you'll basically end up playing that E just a little bit later than you normally would. 3 E and, 3 E and, 3 E and 4 and, 3 E and 4 and. There's essentially a shuffle going on underneath the groove. 1, 2 and 3 E and 4 and. But obviously we're not doing that. You can if you like. 1, 2 and 3 E and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 and. That kind of thing. And just to clarify, that doesn't mean that you have to play all grooves with a 16th note swing to make them funky. That's not what I'm getting across at all. But I'm just giving you a feel for different feels. But even if you play it straight, you can sit with that and make it feel good. One more thing, the ghost note on the E of 3. We want to make that as tiny and defined as possible. So we basically are aiming with our neutral position, hovering over the snare drum in the middle, and we barely move. We're not coming up to get a hit. We don't need to. You're just dropping the stick. Boop. That's all you need. So there you have it, your first funky groove. I think we should move on to the next one. I think that's probably a good idea. Yeah, good idea. Smart. Groove number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not as complicated as it sounds. I feel like that's my motto at this point. It's just single strokes, 16th notes, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. But you're doing it between the hi-hat and the snare drum. You're going to want that snare drum again to be really, really ghosty. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. First of all, we can have an accent in the left on the of 1E and a. So you're going to want to come up for that. Maybe even both hands if you want the space to get that. 1E and a. 1E and a, making sure to keep everything that isn't an accent nice and low. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a, 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. Count out loud as you play it. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. For beat 4, something weird does happen. The sticking doesn't change, but the right hand comes down to get that nice crack rim shot on 4. So if you stick the whole bar together, you get 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a, 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. Put a bass drum on 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a, 1E, 3E and a, 4E and a. Next bass drum is on the and of 2, so same process again. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a, 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. Last bass drum is on the of 4, so you're going to end up with 2 in a row. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a, 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a, 1. And the last optional detail, if you want to add a little drag, 2 little ghost notes, little bounce, on the when you're playing that bass drum, it'll sound really good. Oof. I'm going to say it again. Remember your ghost notes. Remember to play everything that isn't an accent as a ghost note. Thank you, please, and thank you. If you want the proper drum notation for all of the grooves mentioned in this video, on top of some variations that you can try out with each one too, then feel free to check out the free ebook that comes with each one of these videos. It's down in the description. Check it out. All right. Last up, groove 3. I'm going to have to read for this one because it's 2 bars long. 3, 4. Slightly more advanced groove, mainly because it's a proper workout for your right hand and also your coordination betwixt your right hand and the bass drum. Something cool to note about this pattern is we're doing groups of 4 16th notes on the hi-hat, and we're going to accent the first of each 4. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a. A groove where you're playing 16th note hi-hats is quite common with funkier music and styles because it just sounds really cool, and doing it in one hand is one hell of a workout. Before we get into the details of what you can do with your hi-hat hand, let's just run through the groove first. But if you feel that technique is a little bit too tricky for you, especially with everything else going on, I suggest you just keep doing whatever pattern you're comfortable with. Across both of these bars, the hands are doing the same thing. It's just the bass drum that's changing. We've got 16th notes in the hi-hat, really accenting that first of each group of 4 also helps to hold things a bit more in time. And then we've got just snare drum on 2 and 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take this as slow as you need to get it right and sounding clean. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. Now, we're going to break this into 2 halves so we can look at the bass drum pattern. This is where counting is going to help you a lot as well. Again, if you want the notation for this, it can be easier to visualize than using letters when we get a bit more complicated. First half of the first bar, 1E and a, 2 and. 1, 2 and. 1, 2 and. Take it this slow, because otherwise when you play a bass drum, you will always want to put an accent on it, and it's not there. So don't do that. Play it slow. Second half, slightly tricky. 3E, 4, ah. With the accent, 3E, 4, ah. 3E, 4, ah. Let's see if we can stick the whole first bar together. 1E and a 2E and 3E, 4, ah. 1E and a 2 and 3E, 4, ah. Again, you can take it even slower than that. You can go down as slow as you want, as long as it's right. First half, second bar. 1 and 2E. 1 and 2E. 1 and 2E. Second half of the second bar. 3, 4 and 3, 4 and 3, 4 and 3, and. Stick them together. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4 and 1 and 2E, 3, 4 and. Now the fun part begins, sticking it all together. Yes, I am reading for this one, no shame. 1, 2 and 3E, 4, and 2E, 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3E, 4, and 2E, 3, 4 and 1. So hopefully those 3 grooves have given you enough to get stuck into. But if you want to take these a step further, check out the free ebook that comes along with this video that has the proper notation for all of these grooves, along with some variations if you so wish. Also check out all the 3 groove/3 fill videos I've done, because there's quite a lot of them now. And they're all quite good, I think. I mean, I think they're all right. So you can check them out if you want. I mean, you don't have to, but I think they're quite good. Have a great day. Mwah.